Hello everyone, it's me Nave, and today I wanted to do a video talking about this Akuma matchup that I'm surely struggling with. Akuma is like not my best matchup. I just think that the mix-up options are like too much for me to handle, and especially the hadoken like pressure as well. I can't really like handle it that well, and so I wanted to do some video. I want to do a video talking about like my struggle with it and what I can do with it. Specifically in the corner, later on this matchup, we're actually gonna analyze this really specific situation right here, where I'm in the corner and this person does this like meaty setup right here, and I'm trying to figure out what can I do with this. How can I defend it against this person, right? We're actually gonna go backwards. Cool. We're gonna start from here. We're specifically looking at this setup. What could I do right here to combat the hadoken? Because I think that's the thing that's like messing me up the most, because I'm pressing buttons after it. I feel like I shouldn't. The first thing we're gonna look at is the frame data. Good, go back. So they're -4 right there in that situation. So I could, the numbers say that I could counter with, or punish counter with the crushing light punch, but that doesn't really work here. I could counter hit with my, or I could try to challenge with my crouching medium kick. That's like getting 7 frames. Let me turn on the display all. Yeah, I'm like, it's 7 frames to start up. So I could technically do that. But what I wanted to do is actually practice parrying. You see, that's not really super good. After parrying, I could challenge with a standing medium kick. I could challenge with a standing medium kick. It is 10 frames. I'm +4, that's 6 frame startup. The Akuma could stand medium punch in this situation to also combat me, but I think we would end up training. And I gain 2 meters back, which is like not bad. And I gain a little bit of room right here. What I really want to do is practice the perfect parry. There we go. So I'm able to perfect parry, I'm able to do that. Ooh, and I get a safe jump as well, which is pretty good. Ooh, but it's risky. It's a very risky option. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's really cool. Again, it's an issue. It's an issue with like the perfect parry. That's if I'm able to get it. I could alternatively do that. And in this situation, so yeah, I could do a couple things. I wonder something. Could I do this? I'm too late in this situation. Oh, I'm not. I was close. Felt like I was close. I could take 2 drinks. I could take 2 drinks and be +4. It's pretty good. Cool. Let's take this into the lab. We're gonna take this into the lab because we're gonna try out a couple specific things. We are going to first figure out, we're gonna try out a few characters that have fireballs and namely use that in the corner. So we're actually gonna be using Akuma, Ken, Ryu, and Guile. Those are the characters that I really struggle with in the corner, especially when they're using like fireballs and stuff like that. So cool. So actually I have a couple of them set up already. We're not necessarily going to be using the standing medium punch into crouching medium punch. We're actually be using this setup. We're using different fireball speeds, so we're doing light, medium, and heavy. So we're actually going to be restarting and then repeat. Always repeat playback. There we go. So with a light, you're like 0 on hit. Cool. So you're like, so in this scenario, when you do actually parry, in my experience, you either +1 or you're 0. So meaning that you could challenge the akuma with a medium standing kick. And just to double check, we're going to go to akuma frame data. With akuma frame data, excuse me, if he tries to challenge with anything, we are +1, so that means we have a 6 frame standing medium kick. So he could challenge with a light kick, which won't reach us. You could challenge with a standing medium punch, which would reach us. You could challenge with a crouching medium punch or kick. Actually, the standing medium kick won't hit because you're 1 frame faster. And the crouching medium punch and standing medium punch are going to trade, but I don't think they're going to really do that unless they are waiting for you to do a move like that. But even if they do, we're going to be trading, and it would be advantageous for the akuma. So this is if we're challenging with a parry. I'm going to start again. Grab. Boom. So yeah, that's with the light hadoken. It might even be better if we challenge with a crouching medium kick because we are 7 frames, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, it might be better if we do crouching medium kick because we are at 7 rather than 10. Oh wow, we're at 10 frames. I thought that was 8 frames. My bad, everyone. I'm bad for the misinformation. So yeah, if we do 7 frames, we're actually going to be 6 frames actually. Yeah, okay. So we do this. Oops. Even if we block, it's not that bad. We either want a perfect parry into crush counter heavy kick, or we want to perfect parry into like advantageous setup. Yeah, the best setup might actually just be if we crush counter heavy kick into drink, that gives us a drink and leaves us a little more meter, which is pretty good, but it doesn't leave us in a super advantageous position. If we parry into crouching medium kick into Rekka, that leaves us in either an alright position, which is drink, or leaves us a pretty okay position, which is punch Rekka. However, I think in this scenario, the best thing to do is Bakai, because we can do whatever we want after it. We can go for like grab, oki, we can go for a shimmy, we can go for anything we really want to, but the ultimate thing is this: we're out of the corner, and actually we kind of reset neutral. And depending on the combo that we do,
come on, it's time to train.
they are now in the corner. But yeah, that's some matchup knowledge for you guys. I really wanted to do something like this for a while, and it's cool that I'm able to have the time to finally do it. This is all in the guise of like a light hadoken, right? Let's go back in the corner. This is with the medium now. Not too bad. Same methodology. The issue for me is like getting the timing after the parry down, because the parrying and like is so hard, so harsh that it's really hard for, at least for me, to get it right. Now here's where things get interesting with the heavy hadoken. You can see that I'm actually parrying in the middle of the punch, but the game doesn't read it as such. The game, because you're able to parry when it's not a true block string, but for the heavy, it actually is. It might be more beneficial to parry in the second medium punch. We shall see. There's also that setup you can do. Like, let's say you already know that this is you want to risk it and you want to do this. You could side switch. You could side switch. We could do the same thing for Ryu and Ken. The frame data for both Ryu and Ken are going to be different. Let's actually see. Actually, +9. That's pretty crazy. I never thought we would be +9 right there. Well, we can actually look at just the frame data right here. Character select. Go to Ryu. Light hadoken on block is -5. Medium hadoken on block is -7. And hard hadoken is -9 on block. That's interesting. So we could probably do something like this. Yep. You could just challenge every time. But it looks like we can't really parry. We're gonna start with light. So we can't parry that. We can parry the second hit, but not the first hit. But okay. With Ryu, it looks like we can't parry the hadoken itself because it has too much startup frames. 16, 14, 12. Akuma, 16, 14, and 12. Interesting. 16, 14, 12, 12. It looks like they're both the same thing. It looks like maybe 14 and 16 are the cutoff points. It might be with Ryu specifically. Looks like we might be able to like safely challenge against Ryu. Cool. Nice. Yeah, looks like we're able to safely challenge Ryu against all three situations. Good to know. Good to know. There is a situation though where the opponent Ryu might be able to change up their attack pattern, which is a situation. So let's try to figure out the frame data. see. Stardust 12. Recovery. Luck is on -3. Medium is -6 actually. And then hard is +2. Let's see if we're able to parry through them. Oopsies. Force a habit. Nope. So I'm not able to block right there. Or parry. But I'm able to challenge. So for medium. Looks like I'm +6, let's see. Pause. Maybe +1? I am able to challenge though. That's pretty good. Now let's get to 3. And I am -2 on block parry, which is kind of interesting. So what I can do is practice all 3 of these. Recognize when I am and when I'm not. When I am and when I'm not. Plus, and challenge them. With all 3 of those set up, what I could do is just practice fighting against it. See? That could be a solution right there. Nice. Counter hit, nice. Well, let's just practice parrying it. So. There you go. I can challenge that. So for Ryu, that's pretty much the setup. Hi, so the section that I did about for Ken actually didn't record, so I'm going to do a recording right now. For Ken, hadokens aren't really like the main staple of his like corner gameplay or mix-ups. It's mostly like high-low. Sometimes they do like a drive impact. It's like frame traps and all these different things with his abnormally like crazy like rich privilege like normals and stuff like that. Hadoken's like are part of like his a part of his game plan, like maybe in neutral if you go like that. But that's for like a different video. Essentially, like what I can sum it up as, if they do that, you're level 2, you can just like Bakai, and if you just react to like whether they drive rush or not. As far as like frame data goes, even on block, Ken's hadokens on block are actually way worse than Akuma and Ryu's. So it's like -7, -9, and -11. So like you can pretty much like punish with like almost whatever you want. Maybe like a setup is like this, something like that. So as I said earlier, Ken has a lot of mix-up options and a lot of tools in order to like mix up the opponent, aka you. So what I like to do is I like to record different, as you saw, like I have like different types of setups. So I have like a setup where Ken continuously goes for a throw loop. I have a setup where Ken will continuously go for like just like pressure, just like normal pressure. And I have a shimmy option as well. I like to record them and go to replay. All these all have like a random frequency of 1 right here, which you can change with this button. So for example, let's say like you want to focus more on like rapping than anything, or if you want to focus more on just like pressure and stuff like that, you can adjust these as you will. I wanted to just like get this as a warm-up for like corner pressure, because that's what I struggle with the most. So I want to have them as maximized as I can, because I've been practicing, or should I say we've been practicing a lot of the setups. I have the question of, do you know how to like deal with like shimmy in my mind? I already know the answer, to just be patient. I like to do as you can see my inputs right here. So if I do this, I have a delayed what's it called? I have a delayed throw tech right here, and that's gonna help me prevent the Ken from throw looping me. But let's say, for example, I actually have this example, I think on this one here. In this example right here, I actually have the Ken shimmying me. I think the strongest thing about throw loops is that it's essentially like a 50-50, whether they are going to strike or throw. The delayed throw tech really helps mitigate that, because you're doing an option select of throw teching late or blocking early, because you're delaying the tech. It can be beaten down by a jump, because I believe the first, I think generally like the first like 5 frames of the jumping animation is like throw invincible. That's why you're able to jump past Zangief's level 3 in the beginning of your jump. In this game, you can jump pass through your opponent's like delayed tech and punish them. But what you can't do is do like a free shimmy off of a throw tech. So delayed throw tech will most often grab your opponent if they dash up to continue the throw tech. But a surefire giveaway that they will do like a shimmy is if they walk. Hence why I have this. Hence why I have this Ken like walking backwards and forwards. They will, if they shimmy, and your opponent's trying to shimmy, they're going back and forth with the control stick, meaning that they can't block down. Meaning that you can try challenging their walk back with like a crouching medium kick, or a crouching light kick, whatever is like more fruitful for your character. Combined with all of these strats, and along with you practicing these scenarios, you won't have to react on your brain, like remembering how to punish these scenarios and getting that to your muscles, because if you already have these scenarios in your mind, that's just going to become muscle memory. So your brain doesn't have to focus on your muscles, but instead has to focus on recognizing what scenarios these are and letting your muscle memory take over. Like that's how I am able to play like as Jamie. There's some situations where I'm like, damn it, my muscle memory like fucked me over, but that's like very far and few between. So check this out. See? Got him. So like throw tech, because I recognize that he's dashing. Ooh. See, that's muscle memory right there. I recognize this situation. Oh, I was talking. I recognize this situation right there, and I'm able to, boom, punish counter. Nice. But then again, it's also these strategies and scenarios that are happening to me. There you go here. Let's do a few more. And sometimes it's okay to block. It's okay to block sometimes. You know? I know this entire video is kind of like talking about parrying, but it's okay to block. See? Delay throw attack. See? I got hit by that situation. I recognize that he's moving backwards, and in fact, I probably should pay attention more to my meter. Boom. See, I recognize that one was slot number 1 because the medium and the heavy both have the parry timing, which is early because they go out because they travel faster. But the light, because it travels light hadoken, I mean, since it travels slower, you're not able to perfect parry. Meaning that I know that the way that I can challenge / punish this is with the sending heavy kick. So let's do 2 more. Yeah, see, that was a fit slot. Whoopsies, I fucked up. I fucked up the delay tech. Whoopsies, I fucked up the delay tech again. Boom. So like I said earlier, Ken has so many options that like it's almost impossible to just rely on the hadoken. And same thing goes for these characters. These characters have a lot of options in a lot of different scenarios. But now we're focusing on the hadoken, which I personally struggle with. And because I'm learning these characters hadoken pressure and learning how to fight against it, I'm able to apply it to something like this, where I have different scenarios that I may be dealing with, but I'm primarily focusing on this selection so I can get the average answer. And then once I get the average answer, I'm like, okay, I kind of understand where these are, what the answer is for the general answer for these questions. Let me add it to my repertoire of answers that I found the questions for. Like, how do I deal with like a shimmy? How do I deal with a looping player? How do I deal with just like someone who just wants to pressure, right? Now, how do I deal with a player who uses hadokens a lot in the corner is something that I'm adding to my repertoire. And I think this is something useful for you guys as well. Now, before I finish the video, we're going to move on to something that all GP players really struggle with, Guile. And for Guile's probably going to be a lot more different. He's probably going to be more plus on block when it comes to his corner mix-up and corner game. Let's see. Now first we're going to be looking at his frame data. So his sonic booms, perfect, all of his sonic booms, let's see. Aside from EX are all going to be -3, which is pretty interesting. I'm assuming that because of because of his medium punches or like anything else he uses to cancel, it is going to be non-parryable. So man, that Guile gameplay sucks. Hi everyone, this is Future Nave here, and I want to give a quick shout out to a person who's going to be starring in the next section, AMKIDD. I emailed him, asked him if I can use a portion of his video in my video, and he said yes. And I want to give a big, great shout out to him and a big, great thank you for him for not only allowing me to do this, but also the speed of which he replied back within like a really short time. And I was like, whoa, I can't believe this is happening. This is awesome. So thank you very much. And let's actually get into what's going to happen in this section. So I don't play Guile. I don't like the gameplay of Guile enough to like pocket him or learn him or anything like that. I know his general game plan. I know how to play against him as a Jamie. And actually the next video is going to be like a highlights, because I went 10-0 against the Guile, but that's not important right now. What's important is why we're looking at this video. Before we look up like how to pressure as Guile, I actually want to admit something. Like in this video, I was showing off a less than suitable like pressure in the corner, and I felt like I was doing everyone a disservice by showing that specific like combo off. You can argue that like the previous setups weren't super like groundbreaking or anything like that, but I've seen people use that. I've never really seen a Guile do what I was doing, and I was like, this is ingenuous to my audience, and I don't want to do that. So I decided to go out and actually learn like what a Guile would actually do. Hence why we are now here. And I feel like if you don't know what a character does or what the character setups are going to look like, look up an online resource. Like this guy's video is such a like a good, honest video. Like I think it's a really good place to like start if you're trying to learn more about Guile, or either playing against or playing as. I watched the entire video like 2 times. I was like, this is pretty good. I think it's important to also watch the pros play. Look up like pro Jamie, and you'll see a bunch of people playing pro Jamies. You get to learn from them. And also what I like to do is, if I'm struggling with like a Jamie versus like Akuma, because I've been struggling with Akuma a lot, I will just like watch people play, like especially in Naruto playing against like an Akuma, and I'll learn like what moves that he uses, what moves does Akuma use. I like watching longer videos because you get to see the full evolution of the players like play against each other, and you get to see like what did this player get hit by, what player did this get hit by. Sometimes I'll see like a Jamie compilation, like this channel. No shade to this channel, but when I watch this, I'm like, it's cool that we get to see Jamie win, but I want to see a Jamie lose so I can see what Jamie may be struggling with. Well, before we get back to the video, thank you AMKIDD for letting us borrow this video, and I really appreciate it. And let's get back to the video.
All right, so let's say that you have them in the corner again and you do a forward throw. He has a couple options on keeping the pressure on as well too. If you don't end with a flash kick, you could do a Sonic, meaty Sonic. So if they press a button or even wake up with a super 1 to try to beat it out, the projectile beats it out, because remember that level 1 supers are not projectile invincible. And now remember, you can hit confirm this into a combo extender as well too. The other option that you could do as well too, let's say that you're not too worried about the level 1 super or OD reversal, is that you can do a drive rush forward and into throw or meaty as well too. Now that's a true meaty, so if they wake up with a button, you will beat that out every single time as well too. If you don't want to go for the standing medium punch meaty, you can go for a throw afterwards as well too.
Thank you AMKIDD for that. I really appreciate it. Shout out to this community. You guys are lovely people. Links to everything down below, and let's get back to the video. Thank you. Okay, so like Guile's a little different, because rather than focusing on like throw loops, which you can beat with like a delayed like tech, he instead like focuses more on throwing booms after a throw. For example, there are multiple things other than the sonic boom that the Guile player can do. They can do like a drive rush forward, meaty, or grab, and they can also like do nothing. So what we're going to be focusing on with Guile is actually recognizing when the sonic boom is thrown. But before that, we're just going to be like focusing on the combo itself, or the setup itself, and what we could do after this. So we're plus 14, it looks like. Nice. I wonder something. Nice, okay. So we like can kind of trade. I guess I'm gonna hold back. I'm gonna hold back and I guess I'm just gonna practice doing that. I guess the other thing to do with the light is just to practice getting that perfect timing rhythm down. Get that muscle memory up. Nice. Okay. Looks like it's gonna be a little nice. Nice. Well, at least we can trade, which I think is pretty good. Looks like the best thing you can do in this situation, if you perfect parry, crash your medium kick into drink, or you can do the Kai into pressure. You can trade, which is like not the worst thing you can do. If it counter hits, you can go into like your target combo, but it seems like there's not much you can do in terms of like actually trying to pressure or challenge this. It's kind of hard to deal with this stuff. In summary, like these characters can be really annoying, but there are things you can do within the game system, within Jamie's system as well, in order to like bypass it. It's really hard, especially because there are different setups they can do, there are different like mechanics that they can do, but like, you know, the frame data shows that they are minus like on block. So if you're able to perfect parry, or you're able to like challenge, that's a really good way of taking back your turn, because that's kind of what this is all about, taking back your turn and getting out of the corner, you know. As far as like combos you can do after like a perfect parry, or like when challenging, I personally really like going into the safe jump, especially against Guile, because if they flash kick, you're able to do some major damage. So like, check it out. That's like if you have level 3, right? You could also go for like, let's see, get counter hit, and go into a Kai, and go into Oki. But if you need drinks and you're okay with being in a corner, like let's say you have like a lot of meter, then you can go for that. Also for the Guile matchup, really important to get that like those drinks in. So getting as many drinks as you can is pretty good. You can also get corner. +5. Not only do you get a drink, but you also get corner. It does cost 3 bars, so be very careful. You can also do something like this, which I like found like a while ago. Because you're +6 right there. Safe jump. Just kind of a funny thing to do. Just like the Ken player, Guile players are not going to be a one-trick pony. They're going to be doing multiple setups and different things to throw off your opponent. And so I have a couple of these recordings on here that I'm going to just be practicing. got two ideas. You can side switch after that. That'd be kind of interesting. Yeah, that's pretty good. We learned a couple things today. One, it's possible to react to the sonic boom, but it's almost impossible to predict it because there's so many options and the stutter frames are just too much for us to react to. Basically 50-50ing the drive rush and the sonic boom, and that can lead to a multitude of things. But to combat that, you could drive reversal out of most of these situations. Unless the Guile blocks, you can drive impact some of these interactions if the Guile doesn't react to them as well. You can DP out of a lot of these situations. You can even take the sonic boom and try to parry or block everything else. And that's all I got for labbing. To review, there are different levels to labbing. There is finding the question you're having a problem with. For me, it was, do you know how to handle hadokens? I'd be asking like, why do I say questions and answers a lot? Well, fighting games are kind of like a language between two people. It's questioning your skills to an extent. It's one player asking, do you know how to handle this? Do you know how to deal with this? Do you know about this setup? And the answer is how you answer it. I guess to an extent there's like a right and wrong answer to most interactions, if not all interactions. If you don't know the answer to the question, that's where labbing comes in. Thankfully, because of one of the newer updates for Street Fighter at the time of recording, they have a replay system, which I love with all my heart. It's one of my favorite replay systems in fighting games. The fact that I'm able to go into a game that I previously had and practice that specific setup is really cool to me. I really like that. Once I have the setup, my answer in my mind, I can go into the lab and practice similar setups. If there are similar moves or situations, I can go into the lab and recreate them for myself and practice them and share them online with other people. That was the case of Akuma. In the case of Ryu, there are certain moves that, along with the moves that he primarily uses with the hadoken, that he will throw into the mix-ups, like his palm. The next question arises of do you know what to do versus a hadoken versus a palm? And it's really cool to know the answers for that question, because I know the answer to the hadoken one from Akuma. All because I wanted to lab Akuma, and I thought, why not lab Ryu? And then I was like, well, the moves of Akuma and Ryu are similar to Ken. Why not add Ken to it? But then it goes into well, they don't play similarly. They have similar buttons, but they don't play exactly the same. So why not still lab that and think of the answers that I had for the previous two characters added to Ken? And then from there I was like, oh, if I'm struggling with projectiles, a projectile heavy character like Guile might be a really good place to also visit. And then from there, I came to the realization, oh, I don't know how to play Guile. I don't know his setups. I don't really know his mix-ups that well. And I need to admit that. And so I went out and searched other resources, online resources, Reddits, Discords, anything that you think is useful. You can go there and learn from those players. Not only that, we can also build communities. If you're struggling with the character, go into a Discord and be like, hey, I need help with X character. Does anybody play? And is anybody willing to play? And that sense of community is what keeps us moving forward. And then there's also once you get accustomed to what those players can do or those characters can do, you can start labbing those situations, recognizing what situations happen with which character more often than not. For Dalsim, I noticed that Dalsims will use the drive reversal a lot during games. And so I know how to deal with that because I've been playing games, asking questions, and watching pros play. If you're struggling with a certain matchup or you want to learn more Jamie, let me know. I'll be more than happy to upload more videos like this. Once again, shout out to AMKIDD. Really appreciate you. Shout out to the Jamie Discord, Jamie subreddit, Street Fighter subreddit, and everyone that's watching, and all my subscribers. Almost at 500, which is pretty cool. And I thank you all again for watching. Catch you later.